Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time for my good friend Mike, OCP Communications. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of reaction or commentary or review, topic or list or whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Hudson Hawk. Now, of course, Bruce Willis has aphasia, brain illness. It's too bad to hear. I grew up with a lot of the guy's movies, and I love The Last Boy Scout. I love the first 4 Die Hard films. I liked a lot of his older movies. Last Man Standing, The Fifth Element, Mercury Rising. This is not one of my favorites of his, but I never hated this film. This is a very derided film. This is a very considered Bruce Willis's worst. I'm like, nah, I don't think it's his worst. I think, Breakfast of Champions is probably his worst, or, his direct-to-video stuff, most of them. This one is ambitious. It's a film where not all the jokes work, but there's a good chunk that did make me chuckle and laugh. It does have a lunacy. It is a live-action cartoon. It's a live-action cartoon. And it was a fun watch viewing it again, where the cast worked well, has a lot of quirky ideas. I mean, you have a group of CIA operatives named after candy bars, like Snickers and Kit Kat and Butterfingers. You have an action scene where Bruce Willis is being dragged behind an ambulance, and then the stretcher gets caught loose, and Bruce Willis is on the stretcher going down the hallway, maneuvering left and right, while an ambulance, including Frank Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's brother, is chasing Bruce. They're in the ambulance. Bruce is on the stretcher, back and forth. Bad guys hamming it up. Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernhard hamming the hell out of their characters, where it's about this device that Leonardo da Vinci made, and about turning iron and bronze and whatever into gold, and world domination, and they have a dog that loves balls and ball. It's lunacy, and it does not take itself seriously in the slightest. Its tongue is very much in its cheek. Whether it's this cheek or your butt cheek, that's up to you. But you know what? Again, I appreciate the ambition. I appreciate the weirdness, off-kilterness. And Bruce Willis is having fun. He's energetic. This was definitely a passion project for him. Danny Aiello, who plays his buddy, they worked exceptionally well together. The best parts of the film some of the best parts of the film is the two of them working together, the rapport between each other. And Bruce Willis is a guy that just got out of prison. He's a cab burglar. And on the very first day he gets out of prison, he gets pulled back into doing more jobs. And his character, nicknamed Hudson Hawk, he has this ability to know how long a song is. And he uses that knowledge to, okay, instead of a stopwatch or some type of clock, how long will it take me to do this? Okay, if about 4 minutes. Okay, what's a song that's 4 minutes long? Okay, I'll hum that to myself or in my head, and that's how long I have to do a certain event. I thought, okay, that's an interesting idea. So, I mean, you got like part comic book action, part weird off-kilter comedy. I mean, it's from the director of Heathers and Airheads. Heathers, a very black comedy of I love my DJ son with Christian Slater. That's a fun film. Airheads I enjoy. I wish they would put that out again on Blu-ray, because the original Blu-ray is out of print. At least it seemed like tried to buy one, it was too damn expensive. That's the film with Brendan Fraser and Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler. Ernie Hudson's in it. Harold Ramis is in it. Chris Farley's in it. So many people are in that movie. I love Airheads. But the director of those, he did those two, and he did this as well. And I know there's a lot of issues behind the scenes where there's a lot of rewriting and ego trip, because Bruce Willis at this time was, because of Die Hard and Die Hard 2, Bruce Willis, it seemed like, okay, this is the new box office movie star. But then, again, the ego got to his head, to be fair. I mean, the Bonfire of the Vanities, that was a total clusterfuck. And people have said that his behavior on set was not that great at all. He gave a good performance in the film In Country, but that didn't really set the box office on fire. And then, like, a film like this was his passion project, and the way they advertise it like it's an action film. Hey, Bruce Willis is a new action star. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, they're in the past. Bruce Willis is the new guy. But if you don't want to think it's just going to be straight for an action film, you're not getting that. It's not wall-to-wall action. It's very much a Looney Tunes comedy type of aesthetic. I mean, one of the pickup lines for Bruce Willis is when he's talking to Andie MacDowell, will you play Nintendo with me? He's been away for 10 years and someone's like, Nintendo? He's like, what's Nintendo? And like I said, I appreciate the ambition this film tried to do. I appreciate the energy that this film was going for. It's definitely unique. We complain so much about, and yeah, just because a film's different doesn't automatically make it good, to be fair. But at the same time, it's unique. A film being unique can be infectious. And whether it be like the bit where he keeps trying to have a fucking cup of coffee and no one will let him, and he's like trying to drink it, gets shot in his hands, and there's Frank Stallone, again, Sylvester Stallone's brother. Again, the Danny Aiello, Bruce Willis back and forth is very fun. Bruce Willis picking on Aiello when they're getting through and there's cutting a hole through the window, and Bruce Willis looks at him and is like, maybe I'll make the hole bigger. Oh, fuck you. And I just see where people would have a problem with a shift in tone, but in a weird way, it didn't bother me in this as it did in other films. Because there are times where, like, there's a butler with a knife in his wrist and slices one guy's fucking throat. There's a bit where Bruce Willis takes a machine that shoots balls, like a machine that shoots tennis balls, and there's this asshole dog. He shoots it and it goes right out the fucking window. Ball. I mean, there's. Yeah, Andie MacDowell. It's a pretty decent cast. Andie MacDowell is okay. She, I think, is one of the weakest parts of the film. I like her as an actress. I think she does better in Groundhog Day. I don't know if it's her, but just some of the stuff they wrote for her character. Like, she's a nun, and she's, like, talking in communication with the Vatican, but it's a cross that lights up for her to talk to. And that's, like, something, I don't know, like, Naked Gun. Which, I mean, I don't know, maybe it would work in that, or maybe just that's one of the lesser jokes. Or there's a bit that she's been caught, and I guess she's trying to play dumb, so she starts making these dolphin noises, which is just more irritating and annoying than funny. And I don't know if her and Bruce Willis really had the best electric chemistry with each other. I felt more chemistry between her and Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Here, I don't know if the love story... I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's bad, because it's not like... Because I like Andie MacDowell, and I like Bruce Willis. It's just... I think it's just the script on that part of the story could have been improved. Maybe it's not the actors. I do think it's the script. Some of the stuff they're given to say. Although I do like the... Will you play Nintendo with me? I don't know why. Because I never thought of Nintendo as a pickup line, but there you go. Hudson Hawk told me so. But I mean, the quirky stuff, like them using skateboards to go around in order to do their cat burglar job, or lines like when Bruce Willis is on the stretcher, the gurney, and it's like, oh my god, well, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna fucking die. Yo, how am I driving? 1-800, I'm gonna fucking die. Well, like I said, I was talking about the cast. I mentioned Danny Aiello. The CIA group. You had James Coburn, who was in comedies back in the day, in like Flint, Our Man Flint. Which was first, Our Man Flint or In Light Flint? There's two Flint movies. In Light Flint and Our Man Flint. Yeah, I forget which one was first. Anyway, where it's like a takeoff of James Bond. And you know, James Coburn's a good actor. He was in Paycheck with Mel Gibson. He's been in a lot of other stuff. He's having fun in this movie, leading these guys. And the CIA wants David Caruso as his character named, codenamed Kit Kat, who's like a mimic. He like dresses up as Bruce Willis at one point, doing what he's doing, and Bruce Willis like elbows him. And David Caruso always keeps giving these cards. He doesn't talk, he just uses these cards to do the talking for him. And the other guy is another guy named Butterfingers, is Andrew Bernarski. Which, this is probably the best performance the guy ever had. He's a guy, he's been in some football movies. He was Leatherface in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. The guy's a fruitcake, he's a fucking idiot. He's a guy that did one of those fucking cameo videos, but gave his fucking phone number out, and then said, "Oh, don't tell that to anybody." You gave your fucking phone number out. You fucking. Also, he's like, he talked trash about Gunnar Hansen when he passed away. I'm the best Leatherface ever. Gunnar Hansen, piece of shit, and the guy who was in Chainsaw 3, he was a piece of shit. Alright, Mihailov. Fuck you, Andrew Bernarski. You're a piece of shit. Steroid pimple head. Got enough fucking brain cells to piss, but nothing else. And that's only pissing for your drug test, you stupid steroid fuck. Fuck Andrew Bernarski. He does a good job in this film, though, because he's playing stupid. So it fits him, because he's really fucking stupid. And there's other people in that group. And I forget like some of the language in this movie. I mean, I prefer it, I like it, but I don't know, I always kept thinking it was like a, I don't know, not PG, but I keep forgetting, 1-800, I'm gonna fucking die, or listen, you Eddie Munster looking motherfucker. I forgot he called Richard E. Grant Eddie Munster. You Eddie Munster looking motherfucker. I mean, Bruce Willis still has that fervor, that energy, and that gun-ho attitude that you would see in these early, Die Hard, Die Hard 2, those kind of roles. Even The Last Boy Scout. And speaking more of the cartoonish direction, like there'd be times where, like there's a bit where him and Danny Aiello do a cat burglary session. And they jump off a building. And as soon as Bruce Willis lands, he lands and then boom, it cuts to someone's living room, and it's like he goes through the roof and he lands right there. And it's like a weird way of doing a scene transition, but at the same time, it yet again sets the tone as like, okay, this is the kind of movie it is. And yet that's something you would see in a cartoon type of scenario. And either you're done with it or you don't. If people are wanting more of a Die Hard type of movie, go see The Last Boy Scout, which I think was around the same year, which I prefer. I love The Last Boy Scout. I prefer that over this. I saw that film didn't do, well, I think it did okay, but wasn't as big as Die Hard was. And even like the parts where it's like a musical. I mean, how many times are you going to have Bruce Willis and Danny Aiello doing a robbery while they're, in order to time it, okay, 5 minutes and stuff, we're swinging on a star. A ba 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 ba. I don't know, it was, maybe it's just, if liking Bruce Willis as an actor, seeing him have fun, it was infectious, because like he's having fun, so I'm having fun. It wasn't typical. You know, how many movies do we see nowadays that feel like the same goddamn movie I've seen time and time again? And again, just because it's different doesn't automatically make it good, but you could be going the right direction at the same time. And there's a bit where they have this weird gun that shoots these fucking missiles that sticks to stuff and has a timer and blows up, and they did it at the end, and I don't know where they have all these fucking bombs, because these bombs like little cannons you have to put in, and are they littered around their body we don't see? Or is this gun like ready to have infinite ammo? But it's like, yo, singing this song, side by side, blowing up pieces of this castle. And like I said, not all the jokes work. Like some of the bits of Andie MacDowell's performance and her love story, and her being with the Vatican, and again with talking to the cross, but it lights up, and that's how they communicate. There's some bad lines of dialogue. There's a guy who gets his head cut off, and Bruce Willis says a line like, "Guess you won't be attending the hat convention in July." I'm like, really? Idea why? Oh, hat convention, you know, he's got no head. But I would rather just been the typical, don't lose your head, pal, or steal one of the things Austin Powers would do later on. You know, guess he got ahead in life. Well, yeah, again, just a typical, don't lose your head, pal. Yeah, it might be, that just would work better than the hat convention joke. So like I said, there's bits here and there, I'm like, what? But like I said, it's uniqueness, it's quirkiness, it's just trying to go out there and be something different. And a lot of critics hated it. They said it was like one of the worst comedies ever. It was one of the worst films ever. This is not close to being one of the worst films ever. It's not even one of the worst films in Bruce Willis's filmography. Again, I would not put it, I don't think I would put it in my top 10. I don't know. Because I know the 4 Die Hard films would be on there. Fifth Element would be on there. Like I said, Last Boy Scout would be on there. I like Last Man Standing. I like Mercury Rising. I liked Hostage that came out. You know, I reviewed recently. Unbreakable I really enjoy. So no, it wouldn't make my top 10, but this was still fun. It was a fun film. I remember seeing it on VHS back in the day. I remember having a Nintendo game, and the Nintendo game sucked. I'll say if something sucks, yeah, the Nintendo game. Well, I guess what it says, they mentioned Nintendo, they better have a Nintendo game. And, I mean, you got James Coburn doing martial arts, kicking Bruce Willis, and he's moving, Bruce Willis moving his body back and forth. Oh shit, my hat! Goes down, and then James Coburn, and then tries to do a jump kick, goes too far, lands, goes off the building of the castle, and it's silly, it's goofy, it's tongue-in-cheek. I do think that film, if it came out today, I don't think it would be as hated as it was back then, because we've seen a lot more of these quirky movies come out. I'm not saying it would be everybody's cup of tea, but I think, again, at that time, people wanted more die-hard type of Bruce Willis, not more experimental Bruce Willis. Or there are people that just think it sucks, which I disagree. I don't think it sucks, not in the slightest. I think it's fun. Like I said, not in my top 10 Bruce Willis films, but it's a fun movie. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.